first met girl.
Do you remember?
Yo, do you remember the other day when we spoke about how now even little girls think that they're stronger than boys? You can go and watch that video here. We touched upon how it might only be a minority of women who believe that they can beat up men. But I don't know, you know. I know social media highlights this stuff and makes it look a lot more widespread than it really is. But the more famous that the person is who's peddling this stuff spreads it out to a wider audience. And next thing you have millions of women believing that they can take on men. Put 'em up, put 'em up.
Put 'em up, put 'em up.
And that's because people are gullible and they will believe anything that their favourite influencer or celebrity says. So in the last few weeks we've had a famous female boxer called Claressa Shields come out and challenge multiple male professional boxers to a boxing match. Now, if you don't know Claressa Shields, she's considered one of the greatest female boxers of all time, and she's currently ranked at the top of the pound for pound list. She's a 2-time Olympic gold medalist. She turned pro in 2016. She's a 3-time undisputed champion and held all the titles as super middleweight once and the middleweight division twice. And she's currently 14-0. And as you can see, she's a great fighter. Now, does that mean that she can compete with men? Well, it depends. Are we talking about an amateur male boxer with less than 10 fights?
Maybe.
What about an inexperienced pro male boxer? It's highly unlikely. How about a professional boxer called Keith Thurman, who's got a record of 30 wins and only 1 loss? Claressa, never in a million years, girl. Claressa tweeted,
I'll fight Furman at 154 pounds. So serious. All the respect in the world to him too. I just think I can outbox him.
in my opinion, she's delusional. Just because she's undefeated as a female and spars with men doesn't mean that she can beat a pro male boxer. In fact, let's take a look at some of the footage of her sparring men. We all know it's extremely easy to chop and edit footage to make it look like you're doing well. We have to assume that she's carefully hand-picked these clips to be her best moments. Put it this way, she's not going to show us clips of her average or poor moments, is she? So when we consider this, there's nothing impressive whatsoever here. And I've said it 1,000 times, as a fighter myself, it doesn't matter how hard my coach tells me to go with a female fighter. I always hold back. Always. Like, all the time. I might turn up the heat a little bit, but I'll never spar with a woman in the same way that I would a man, and most male fighters wouldn't. And it's the same with these fellas here in the video. Everyone's got headgear on, and the fellas will 100% be pulling the punches. Not to mention, we don't know the level of these fighters. So a good logical next step would be to compare the fighting records of both Keith Thurman and Claressa Shields. Claressa has got 14 wins with 2 KOs. That's a 14% KO percentage. Now, Keith, on the other hand, has got 31 wins with 22 KOs. That's a 70% KO percentage. You think Claressa, with a pillow hands, will be able to beat Keith Thurman or any professional male boxer? Well, there's always one person in the comments who'll say, yeah, but Claressa Shields has got better technique and skill. Has she though? Because everyone looks like world beaters when they're on the pads or going up against their own gender. Put it against a man and she'll fold. As I said in the Bradley Martin videos, which you can go and watch here, thank you for everyone who's subscribed from them videos too, because they absolutely blew up. Size matters when skill isn't equated. So if the smaller person is significantly more skilled, they can make up for the lack of size. But when we're talking about a man versus a woman, it's a different ballgame. Men have got more testosterone, more stability, centre of gravity, thicker bone density, larger frames, more muscle mass, more fast twitch muscle fibers, a more powerful nervous system able to activate more motor units, more speed, more explosiveness, faster reactions, the list goes on. And let's not forget that Keith has got double the fights as Claressa and 10 times the KOs. We can also say that men have got tougher chins. They can take a punch better than women due to their thicker necks, thicker shoulders, thicker jaws. So Keith has knocked out 22 men. What do you think he'd do to a woman? Claressa can't even knock out other women, let alone a pro male boxer with 22 KOs. Side note, it's the same reason why the majority of women's MMA is boring and absolute snooze grapple fests. Because they've got no power, zero power, besides a select few.
Some punches from home against the cage. Some punches from home. Stops herself being thrown and another knee to the thigh. A knee to the body from Vieira, but another knee to the thigh from home. Punch from home as Vieira knees her, another punch from home. Just wipe us out on the West and we'll work with whatever's left of us, man. Just nuke the West, man. It's only 4 more rounds. Only 20 more minutes, you know. Oh. So annoying, man. They do this and then they get another main event and another main event.
I'm not hating on them, by the way. It's just every single female MMA fight, it's always the same stuff. They can't really do anything to each other on the feet, and they end up in the clinch, and then they go to the ground and then just kind of flap about a bit on the ground. And this is coming from someone who is highly experienced with grappling. It's just they haven't got the strength or the power to advance the positions and to actually get submissions. So a lot of these female MMA fights are terrible. Anyway, back to it. Keith accepted the fight and he tweeted out, "We can let you try to showcase your skills. I'll probably only use my jab and I'll wear bigger gloves and let her wear headgear. I don't really want to punch a girl in the face." I don't blame you, mate. See, the problem is it's a lose-lose situation for Keith. If he wins, he's just beat up a girl and gets no credit. Everyone says, of course he won. But if he somehow can't finish it, or, even worse, if he loses, then it doesn't look good on him, does it? So there's no benefit for him. Whereas if Clarissa gets KO'd, she'll have everyone, the whole world on her side saying, you were brave, you're strong and independent, female black empowerment. Yet if she goes the distance and still loses, she'll probably still be told how strong and brave she is and how that's a moral victory in itself. Whatever way the fight goes, the storyline will never be about Keith. It'll always be about Clarissa, so he has nothing to gain. And this is where it gets a little bit funnier. She also recently called out Jake Paul.
I want to fight Shadesha. I want to rematch Savannah Marshall and beat her up again. Or I want to fight Jake Paul. Just to speak on Jake Paul real quick. I don't know what his whole ordeal was, but why is he mad that I'm saying that his boxing is not up to par? It's not. Why is he upset at me? I box better than Jake Paul. I can beat Jake Paul in the fight. Honestly, Shadesha can beat Jake Paul in a fight. What? I'm not wrong. Seriously. I have way more experience than him in fighting. It doesn't matter how big he is or he's a man or whatever. That don't matter. Jake Paul has a long way to go.
I think Jake Paul would win. Also, Jake's 185 pounds. Clarissa is 155 pounds, but she's more like 145. I think she could still cut a lot more weight. And if that fight went down, Jake's record would be hilarious. Imagine this. A bunch of retired MMA fighters who are all grapplers and wrestlers, 40 to 50-year-olds, and a woman. Respect Jake. What an absolute record. The fact that this is a conversation is hilarious. So what do you think about these potential matchups? Is there any way in any universe for Clarissa to win? Comment down below. And look, from the heart, once again, I appreciate all the support and all the boss comments on the last few videos. I do actually read every single one and try my best to respond, but there's hundreds of them. And we're just about to hit 40k subscribers. When we get to 50k, I want to do a little bit of a special video. I'm not too sure on what I should do yet. Maybe comment down below any suggestions. But let's keep that momentum rolling. Keep liking the videos. Make sure you got the notifications turned on and just tune in for the daily uploads. That's all I can say. And I appreciate yous. Okay, you absolute legends. I'll see you tomorrow.